Greetings, Your Majesties. I honor you as I honor myself. My name is Kathia Bruno, and I would like to welcome you to Honor Thy Royal podcast, a self love journey. Um, I'm just going to get comfy. Tonight, I will be starting a new series titled A Royal's Honor. This first episode will be dedicated to women first, and then I'll do daughters, sons, and then men. Um, and I would just like to explain why I'm doing it in that order. Men are supposed to be the head. They're supposed to be the leaders. They are supposed to be responsible for all of the episodes that come before them. In today's society, a lot of men forget their responsibilities within the family, to each other, to their children. So we'll start by, reminding them what you're responsible for, who you're responsible for, and who you are going to answer to. In a kingdom community, not everyone is married. Um, some of us are still just getting ready for it. Speak life into what you want. Um, but for people who are, not married and they're not parents, people who fall under my category, um, there's still responsibilities. There's still honor in being single. There's still honor in being, a proper lady or a good gentleman. So I'm pretty sure I will not be able to get through all of these tonight. I tend to do some extensive, yeah, note taking. So I will give the top 10 honors, and we'll make it through as many as we can make it through with this episode. So the honors of a royal woman. She is honored to carry the things that honor him. She is honored to shower him with respect due only to him. He is a jealous God. She is honored to be a favorite place for him to rest and dwell in. She is honored to protect her heart for him. He is a jealous God. She is honored to count as many blessings as he has given her one by one. She is honored to love him above herself. She is honored to control her body and her demeanor. She is honored to worship with her entire being, not just her lips for show. She is honored to submit to him willingly, remaining in his will. All roads always lead back to him, so she chooses daily to start with him. She is honored to encourage those around her, older and younger, to live reverently and to love each other as Christ loves on her. Um, and like I said, I'm starting with women for a reason. Here we go. For a woman of God, it is very, I'll speak from my personal experience. Being married is not um easy. It is not a game. It is not boss level of a video game. It is, it carries different weight for men versus women. And we'll get to the married kingdom marriages and stuff like that a little later. But for a woman and for a man, before you enter into a marriage, You still have to be a proper lady, deserving of a gentleman. You still have to be a gentleman, deserving of a proper lady. These are traits, characteristics, attributes, habits of kingdom connectors. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. But a lot of us, because we don't really pay attention to the value and substance that we're supposed to add to ourselves by the grace of God so that we can add value to the people that we come into contact with, it becomes less of an honor to be bound to something by duty, and it becomes more of a resentment of chore because it's not being appreciated. So women, um, they bring value, they add a value that is immeasurable. If you think about it, from a woman, all life comes forth. Out of her pain, all the pains that she carries, she gives birth to nations. Men and women, whether they are respectful, disrespectful, whether they're good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent, men and women come from her. Women do not come from men. I mean, men do not give birth to, children. Only a woman can. And while she is carrying her blessings before they mature enough for her to birth them, she and her entire being are preparing for the gift that is coming. God will never give us more than we can bear. So if He put a seed in her, He knows when that seed is going to come forth. And He prepares for that. He prepares her for that. He prepares her for, getting ready for the labor pains, getting ready for contractions, getting ready for setbacks, getting ready for stress, getting ready to have her change her entire lifestyle to give birth to the seed that He gave her to give birth to. Um, yeah. Her number one honor when she is raised properly is to carry His honor. So everything that God honors, she happily carries those things inside of her. So, um, one thing that God delights in is how we carry ourselves. And the one commandment that He gives us is to love Him and place nobody before Him. For a woman, it's a little different. For a woman, when she is single, while she is young and when she is single, God is the only man in her life. While she is a little girl who does not know God, she has her father. So He is her first love. When she becomes an adult, if in today's society, people don't live at home for a long time. But anywho, when she becomes old enough to take care of herself, nobody is above God, period. The only person that will receive that type of love and adoration from her husband, her father. That is all. And when she gets married, her husband will hold a higher regard than her father because she becomes one with him once they get married. And the only person that she will ever place that she's ever supposed to place above her husband is God. So Romans 12 verse 10 is where this first one comes. It is her honor to be devoted to him in love and to love him above herself. She follows the Lord and his word. She understands how to give and receive love to him um, in a way that is pleasing and honorable. And she does this by becoming a resting place for him. So when God is out there fighting your battles, you prayed to him, you told him, Lord, this is what's going on, this is what I have going on, and he is moving on your behalf. God will never get tired, he will never sleep, and he will never fail. However, if you give him something to do, a reason to move on your behalf, the least you can do is strengthen his resolve with your praise. So that way, when he's done handling whatever he's handling for you on your behalf, he may, want to come and tell you, hey, I've already taken care of this. You won't have to worry about it. But I have to move on to the next person. However, if he comes to you and finds you, you know, giving him praise, sending up worship, doing things that are just for him, then rather than, all right, here, I took care of it and I'm leaving, no, he's going to sit and dwell with you. You become his resting place. And he gets to live in your secret place, wherever that is for you. For me, it's on the inside of me. It's our secret place. Only he knows how to get into it, period. Nobody else living can get into it unless, he says, all right. Because other than that, Me, me and my God said we ain't doing that. You go talk to him first, and then he'll give you the passcode and you can get in. Um, 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 4. It is a woman's honor to control her own body in ways that are holy and honorable. I'm working on being less sarcastic. I'll use myself again. It is very easy to conduct yourself in a way that is honorable when you are used to getting hit on. You spend all day saying no to everything and everybody to the point where I get disgusted as soon as somebody attempts to hit on me and just, no, turned off. And carrying myself in a way that I know I don't like getting hit on. So I'm not wearing things that, are drawing people's attention to me. However, whatever I put on this vessel, people are going to look at me regardless. So I may as well wear things that I like, that I'm not going to see on everybody else. And God, even if I were to go shopping at the same place and buy the same exact clothing as everybody else, it would look completely different on me. And I thank God for that. You're not supposed to, you know, put everything out on display. There's no need to, you know, buy the cow if you're getting the milk, the creamer, and the cheese for free. There's no need to marry a woman who is on display like, a McDonald's meal all over the place. Everybody's had a Big Mac. Well, most people have had a Big Mac. Um, most everybody has had McDonald's fries. Most people. But yeah, if she is flaunting everything that I could show off, like I'm festively plump. God didn't make me to be skinny. I am natural. So I got broad shoulders because my chest I have a big bust. My thighs are, thick and wide, to carry what I got back there. Side note, compared to my mom and my sister, I got a little booty and little booties matter, but their butts are like 9 months past the pregnancy due date. It's beautiful. I don't have it. God didn't give me all of that, but they got it, and I'm happy to be related to them. I can, you know, be appreciative of another woman's vessel. I don't have what you have, so of course I can appreciate it. Um, and with that, we're not out here dressing half naked. If I'm going to ever, be dancing in a super sensual way, it's gonna be in my house in front of my mirror. I'm making room for a kingdom marriage. So it would still be in my house in front of my mirror or husband. The things that you put on your body as a woman. Back in the day, women used to have these humongous corsets, and there was like obstacle courses that the men would have to go through to get her undressed. Now, women are walking around wearing dental floss. There's like no type of a struggle for him to, you know, unwrap before he gets to the goodies. The only time he's unwrapping is if somebody is wearing like the full um the bodysuit, the bulletproof, the Spanx, and all those things. That's the only time he might have to go through some things, and with the way women are, they'll take all that off so he won't have to struggle. In saying that, I would just like to add, men are conquerors. So if he is pursuing you in order to conquer you or take you down, once he has conquered you and has, gained your submission, what else is he supposed to do with you? And I ask that question while we're talking about a woman's honor because as a woman, he is a conqueror. He has been given tasks way before you came along that he had to overcome, that he had to use to prepare him to take care of the blessing that is you. He's not supposed to conquer you. You are supposed to willingly submit to each other. If a man is pursuing you just to conquer you, you can tell. It doesn't take that long. But if a man is pursuing you in order to build a future with you, it looks and feels a lot different. And when you have been pursued by God relentlessly, you don't really it makes it difficult to settle. Because when God is pursuing you, he's chasing you because you already belong to him. He's leaving the pasture with the 99 sheep just to come look for you, just to go and fight your battles to bring you back home. But when a man of God is pursuing you, it is it's definitely different. It it feels safe from the very beginning. You don't feel like you're being chased through the woods. You don't feel like, saying the wrong thing might end poorly for you. And it becomes an honorable reward to know, okay, with this man of God, I will be happy to love him and God. The way it's supposed to go is God and then, him. When he's pursuing you, all of the honors that you were already carrying as a woman of God, now you get to carry those things still for God's glory, but with your husband. And when you're equally yoked with your spouse, the honor that you carry as a woman of God and the honor that he carries as a man of God doubles, multiplies. So now you have an even greater glory for the both of you. Um, trying to move on, trying to move on. What else? She is honored to watch her mouth, and it's not an easy task if you are used to using 3 to 8 letter words on a regular basis. But once you get to a point where God can sit you down and say, I don't want you talking like this. I don't want you dressing like this. I don't want you hanging out with these people. I don't. Then it's like, all right, if I do it, and I can't control myself, that's bad. If I do it knowing better, that's even worse. So now I have to take the time to think about what I'm saying. And once you get used to having to control yourself, you will understand that remaining calm, cool, and collected when all you want to do is everything but, you realize that being calm, cool, and collected is a reward of the wise. The people who are hot headed and go fly off the handle, and I used to be one. And depending on how you talk to me, I may not fly off the handle and I may not use any cuss words, but talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all. There's no reason to use disrespectful words. With all of the different languages, you know, language is supposed to be beautiful. And if you're accustomed to using nothing but the ugliest of words, thank God they don't show up on your skin. Just thank God. Um, she is honored to carry her demeanor in a way that is pleasing to God. So, like I said, being calm, cool, and collected is a reward for the wise. And you can only gain wisdom by seeking God. Her demeanor And I will make this for men and women, not just the woman of God and God. When a man is drawing himself closer to a woman, he is attracted to her demeanor. And it's not just him, it's everybody around him. So if he is pursuing a woman who is very promiscuous, her demeanor will reflect that. When he is hanging out with his friends or going to other places, he may or may not have trust issues with her because her demeanor is very promiscuous. That's how he met her. But when you have a woman of God, her demeanor is pleasing. Even the people who see her, experience her, they don't get to experience her on, a personal level. However, the demeanor that she carries when she is dealing with other people, it is pleasing to them. So they automatically can appreciate the fact that she does not belong to them, that she's not their daughter, she's not their sister, she's not their wife, but she is a blessing, and they can recognize that through her demeanor. Now, when you take a woman of God who carries herself um, with in a proper demeanor, he's happy to watch her move on her own because all she's doing is taking all of the joy and goodness on the inside of her. She's carrying it with the way she speaks to people. She's carrying it with the way she greets people. She's carrying it and pouring it out on people freely. And I know God likes to sit back and watch me work. The first time I came to understand what the spirit of a muse was, it was a supernatural thing. And to know that, God will literally sit back and watch you. Yep, she got this. It's empowering. Like, I know he's not going to have to worry about me. I mean, a little touch and go there for a second, but you pulled through. He might give me one of those, but he knows no matter what, I start and end everything with him. And if there is something blocking my spirit from, being able to connect with him, we're going to talk about it because I don't like being naked. And the only time I'm naked spiritually is when I don't feel like he's right there. So I need to go and reevaluate. Did I say something? Did I do something? Did I write something? Um, did I do something that was displeasing to you? And if so, I need you to forgive me and come back to me. And if I'm asking the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, the God of heaven to come back to a place that he already dwells in, I don't want to have to do that often. I don't. I want him to stay. So I'm going to watch what I do. I'm going to watch how I move. I'm going to watch where I go. I'm going to watch who's around me. And he's happy to know that I'm doing that for him on purpose. Um, 1 Peter 2, verse 17. She shows proper respect to everyone. She loves the family of believers. They serve together willingly. She fears the Lord. She honors the emperor. She will become his wife. She will honor no one but God above her husband on purpose. Made men don't speak. That is something my daddy taught me very, very early in life. And as a woman of God, the man ruling your life don't have to speak on what makes them honorable. For example, God rules my life. Nobody has to ask me what my religion is, even if they do. I don't claim one. The closest is Christianity, but I have a relationship with God. But nobody has to question how I feel about God. And nobody has to question how he feels about me. You know why? Because I am his personal cheerleading squad. I happily celebrate him. I openly celebrate him. I willingly submit to him just so I can talk about him. I can brag about my God. And it feels good to be able to do that. Can you? I hope the answer is yes. And if you can't, I'm sorry for your loss. But get to know him. And the more you get to know God, the more you spend time with him, the more you are honest with him. God, here's how I'm feeling. Here are the thoughts that are running through my head. I want to give them to you. And in exchange, I pray that you will give me your peace. And once he gives you the peace, it's not a temporary ceasefire unless that's what you want. Because when God gives you peace, the only way for you to fall again is if you decide to fall again. And, the only way you fall is if you believe the lies that are coming to you. So if someone is saying you're weak, or if you're scrolling through social media and you keep um, listening or reading to posts about being weak, being mistreated, being misused, being everything that is against the word of God, then that's what you're feeding your spirit. And the same way you can read and listen to negative things, you should also be spending just as much time searching through the word of God for the things that, prove those to be lies. Every hour that you say an affirmation to yourself, whether it's a personal affirmation, a love affirmation, financial affirmation, every hour that you spend throughout the day, saying those things to yourself, you're supposed to believe it, which means you have a deep rooted amount of faith that these words you're speaking are factual. And as a woman of God, the power of life and death lie in your tongue. So if I want to use my mouth to tell someone I do not care about them, that's a me thing. That's a me thing. I have the authority to speak life or death. But if you use your mouth to only speak negativity, if you use your mouth to only speak gossip, if you use your mouth to bring thoughts to life, one that I cannot stand hearing is, um, I should be able to date 5 different guys, to fund my lifestyle. Finding it. If you need need multiple people to help you take care of you, then you need to make better choices, A. And B, what if, just what if, God wanted to send you your man of God? Now you have to go through and break the ties, break the soul ties, and depending on how these men feel about you, you might have to go through and break their heart on purpose, just so you can give yourself to the person that God had for you. So now you're going to enter in the relationship that's supposed to be a kingdom relationship with all of this extra baggage. And even if it's in the past, it's right before you gave what was left of your heart to that person. How dare you? If you don't take honor in keeping your heart pure, keeping it protected, and I don't mean, well, I only want the men for their money. I'm not actually giving my heart or my feelings and emotions into it. Again, it's not about you, woman of God. It's about your future within the kingdom community that you are supposed to be a part of. If you have to convince yourself that it's okay to break somebody's heart just so you can get what you want, that is selfish and not in a good way. You're okay with breaking somebody else's heart. You're okay with disrupting somebody else's peace that you never even really liked that way. You could have just left them alone so that they can go find their blessing. And as a woman of God, for me personally, it is very trying to meet people and, they're drawn to whatever. Um, Light, smile, smell, shape, size, whatever it is that brings them on over. And some people have like good conversation and it's all cool. And then they feel, you can see that they're excited and it goes on for a while. And it's like, I have to say, hey, dude, listen, you're gonna fall in love before I do. And that's because I was never trying to give my heart to anybody. And now where I am accepting the preparation that God is doing in my life for my God-sized blessing, I can't say certain things, I can't do certain things. And even in preparing this series, I know what my honor is as a daughter and as a sister, as a woman of God. Never, I have working on it. I have not had to care about, expressing emotions and feelings. I'm single. I'm not in a relationship. And even while I'm doing this series, I am going to be posting videos and more note to self. The man that God has for me is out there. I am thankful for him. God is going to deal with him concerning me. In the meantime, I want God to do something. I want God to be move in action on my behalf. I want God to continue to bless me. And I've said it multiple times. Because I'm stuck on stupid most days ending with why, sometimes God has to beat me over the head with my blessings. I don't want to be delusional. I don't want to feel like, oh, this is for me and it couldn't possibly be for my sister next to me. I want to see people win. Maybe we have the same dreams. Maybe we don't. But God is going to make sure everything finds me in His timing. And while I want Him to move on my behalf, I'm going to speak life into the man that God has for me. I'm going to speak life not only into the man that God has for me, but to any other man who is who wants to get ready for their kingdom marriage. So the words that I feel, the words that I share, they come from me because of how I am with God. So my man of God, whenever he pops in, he won't have to worry about how I'm gonna talk to him or treat him. He won't. God is already dealing with both he and I, and he understands that I am very passionate, and it is because I know how passionate I can be that, I'm just a very chill, mellow person. Anything more than what you see here, that's a level of personal connection. Not everyone gets that, and I'm okay with that because some people will judge your passion or by what it looks like to them, not what it feels like to you or why you're even that passionate about the issue. But as a woman of God, the one thing that I will always be passionate about is how God loves me. And if you're not trying to love me the way God has been loving me, then that means you're purposely trying to downgrade me. How about we not and say we didn't? Um, Matthew 15, verse 8. People worship the Lord with their lips, but not with their heart. And as a woman of God, it is my absolute honor to be able to say, even after I just happily waved to somebody with my middle finger ring, didn't give them the finger, just waved. Um, but the prettiest accent is on the finger that has the dirtiest meaning. Um, I can still go to God and explain to him what just happened, what I feel, what I felt. It's not always, "Oh God, you're wonderful and thank you. Oh my gosh, Jesus, thank you for the flowers." It's not always like that. And that's why I said, you have to be honest. Like I've come a long way with my anger issues. I've come a long, long way. And it is by the grace of God that I can understand, hey, anger is not necessarily bad. It is not good in the way that you go about expressing it. And on that note, I think I'm gonna end on here. Back in the day, men left women and children home when they went into battle. And that is because on a battlefield, a man sees so very much from the smells to the sights, even to him having to lift the sword and swing it down and, feel the bone and flesh, ripping apart as he is doing what he's out there to do. That is where he releases his anger, his rage. That is where, everything that he does not want home, he's fighting that. He's out there every day going to work on that battlefield to make sure he's providing nothing but peace for the people that he's protecting. In 2024, women have been exposed to so much violence and so much corruption and so many negative things that a lot of women have lost touch with their femininity. In your anger, give it back to God. Because unless you are, trying to, not even, there is no unless, give it back to God. And if something keeps triggering you, bringing it back, as a single woman, I only have my friends, my sister, my mom, my aunties. that I can completely be myself with and tell them exactly what's happening, start to finish, every, disturbing detail when applicable. But my anger is it's a part of me. And I tell people all the time, let me be my regularly scheduled bubbly self because that other side of me is all the way throwed. And I love her. She protects me. She protects my family. She protects the things that I want to protect. So my anger is not necessarily bad. Expressing it, unleashing it for any reason that triggers me, that is bad. But it is there so that I can protect myself. Um, as a woman of God, being able to, again, remain calm when under pressure, remain poised when being pushed to my point of no return. These are rewards of the wise. I'm wise enough to know um, I don't need to, express this. I can keep it to myself. This is something that I'm okay with just turning into God. As a single woman, I don't want to, you know, operate from a place of hurt, from a place of trauma, from a place of anger. And then, I don't know, like my niece or nephew come to me and I'm just, you know, giving them a very mean scowl and not happy. I am not pouring life into them at that point. I am draining it from them. That's not good. So, as a woman of God, my demeanor is always set to what my mom taught me. Make sure that you're able to give everybody that you come in contact with a genuine smile because it might be the only one that they get for the entire day. I can't give you a genuine smile if I'm not genuinely happy. I can't give you a genuine compliment if I'm not genuinely looking to, spread positivity. I thank God for the way I was raised. Um, but yeah, as a woman of God, being able to encourage other women to love themselves and love the people that are around them. I'm happy to do that. Regardless if I get it back or not on social media, I got people who pour into me on purpose and willingly. And that is enough to, help me get to my overflow so that I can pour out to other people freely and openly, whether they give back to me or not. Regardless of the case, I am willingly pouring out nothing but positivity, joy, and happiness. Whether I get it back or not, God is still going to bless me. God got me. And everything that I give out for the sake of Him, He gives me back so much more. But yeah, as a woman of God, being able to say, I'm carrying his honor. He takes honor in the way I speak to people, treat people. He takes honor in watching me bring down heaven. The pieces of heaven that he has shown me, the pieces of heaven that he has already deemed I'm worthy of receiving, I get to bring that down. I can't do it by myself. And even, when I am honest and say, like, I know I'm gonna need help. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. It's not everyone I can open up to, but I'm trying. And by the grace of God, you know, the people that He allows me to open up to, My prayer, my genuine prayer is that they'll be able to receive me. Um, and it won't be, scary and creepy. It won't be someone trying to like hold me down. As a woman of God, and I'll end it here, I am so used to just having my relationship with God. So much so that learning from other people is like going to school and meeting the substitute. Yeah, you're still learning, but it's not your original teacher. And if people really understood what it meant to be, master and student, teacher and student, a student never actually wants to beat their teacher or master. They want to gain the knowledge and go farther, yes, but not to beat them or defeat them or embarrass them. It's not negative. Jesus did his thing and then he left. The teacher does their thing and then they leave the classroom. When you have to take those tests, when you have to go through the pop quizzes, when you have to take finals, midterms, all that good stuff, the teacher is quiet. I'm the type of person, I have a lot of questions because I want to make sure I understand everything inside out. I want to be able to break it down and then synthesize it back up. Or else, how do I know I actually mastered the lesson? But if I am asking questions and it's seen as attacks, then why would I ask questions? Then when I don't understand what you understand and people are looking at me to care, I can't find one care to give. When I had questions, it was a problem. When I was seeking understanding, it was a problem. When I was stating my points of views, it was a problem. So then how should I communicate? But as a woman of God, I know that not everyone has the same understanding. We don't. And that's okay. Um, but when you fellowship with people, you gain understanding. It Communication is sharing information, sharing knowledge, sharing experiences. If you're driving, I was driving home from church on a faithful Sunday night, and somebody had left church and drove through the same direction that I was going to be driving in. As I'm driving, the person called me, and I'm just like, "Hey, why didn't you warn me about all the traffic that's out here?" They're like, "Oh, well, when I was driving by, there was no traffic." Meanwhile, I'm stuck, it not moving, not knowing what's going on. All I could do is have a praise and worship in my car, crank the music up, wait for ambulances to get by and get through so that I can get to where I need to go. But when it comes to, understanding, if you don't tell me, I won't know. I'm not psychic. I don't have special abilities. I just have a relationship with God, and He's going to show me, tell me, send me. He's going to give me His understanding. And if I miss His understanding or what He's trying to tell me, He's going to bless other people so that they can tell me in a way that I can understand. He might give me a whole paragraph, but I can't process the entire paragraph because on the third word of the third sentence is something I'm not used to, something I've never experienced. Now I'm stuck on stupid and I can't even move forward to finish, the rest of the paragraph. He's going to send somebody, send a dictionary, send a thesaurus. He's going to send a resource for me to help me gain his understanding. Meanwhile, most people aren't even willing to talk to each other to do that. But yeah, it is an honor to know that even without a PhD or a doctorate, the understanding that I have is not going to be common to anybody. And as I am learning to articulate the blessings that have come out of the lessons that I've been through, I pray that God will release His grace on women, especially the single women. We need it. And help us understand like what it means to love God, what it means to use the gifts that God has given you to create and, you know, give it back to God. And what I mean by that is God gives you the ability to paint or draw. You can use it to make money, you can use it to relax yourself, and you can also use it to draw the most stunning images for God. Yes, other people will see it, but it's not really for them. They're a byproduct. They get to appreciate the gift that you specifically created for God. He delights in that stuff. And as women, as single women, all of the gifts that God has given you, you are going to use those gifts for and on your family. So if you are a gymnast, if you are a um, cheerleader, if you are a um, organ player, if you are a singer, you can use all of those gifts to dance for your family, sing for your family, write for your family. All of those things God loves. He doesn't need your talents. He gave them to you on purpose. He knows what they are. He just wants to watch what you're going to do with them and how you're going to give him glory with them. But yeah, as a woman, we carry a lot. Mind you, this was mostly about single women. Haven't even gotten to the motherhood, sisterhood. Women, we carry a lot of honor. Please don't allow anybody else to tell you what level you're on, what scale you're on, where your measure is. The only way somebody can tell you that is if you're lacking in substance and value. And substance and value come from mana and God. So the more substance you have, the closer you are to God. That's how you're receiving it. So yeah, until next time, so that I'm trying not to go over. Adjust your grounds and honor thy royal. Have a good night, everybody.